were trespassed from campus while staging a protest. So there's been all these examples of the suppression of dissent on campus. The university taking down posters from our rally, security following us around. All this sort of stuff's been happening. So I characterise the university as having a closed political opportunity structure, and and most of the literature suggests that closed political opportunity structures encourage extra institutional activism. So it's essentially the direct activism that we're engaged in, because that's essentially the only way to make them listen. So what I'm basically saying here is that our tactics have been what they should have been, because they won't really listen to institutionalized forms. Though I think in a way we should pursue that as a sort of side angle. I also looked at student motivations and compared the motivations and demands of our movements to those of the 60s. What I found was that the motivations were quite similar, and that students in the 60s in the US and Europe organised in response to an increasingly impersonal bureaucracy and the loss of human relations within the university. And so we've sort of done that as well. But something different I did find was that in the 60s and in the US, student demands also centred around changes to the nation state's policies, foreign policy, specifically opposition to the Vietnam War. And when I was looking at our demands, that's something I noticed, was that while a lot of us do have problems with things like poverty in New Zealand, unemployment, etc., all of our demands are solely instrumental demands focused on benefits to students. So I think that's something that perhaps we need to consider as well, is that recognising that while we are doing this for instrumental benefits to students, we also need to, partly in order to not imply selfish and partly because it's the right thing to do, and in order to tie our struggles to wider struggles, is if we are going to issue demands on behalf of others as well. So that was that part. And then finally, I did a small section on neoliberalism and activism. So there's a theory out there that neoliberalism, and this was one of the main guys, who's also David Craig, I think, talking about how neoliberalism co-opts activism into a service culture, into services with an audit culture surrounding them. So I looked at this in the university, and I found that actually what a lot of the environmental groups on campus are they service delivery organisations. So one of them was Engineers Without Borders, and they are focused on essentially providing engineering services to communities, helping them build capacity, giving them expertise they might not have.